or whatever. But anyways, if we kick things off, apparently Olivier Giroud wants another London move as ex-Chelsea and Arsenal star eyes shock transfer. That could be West Ham, that could be Brentford, that could be Crystal Palace, it could even be Leighton Orient. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Arsenal or Chelsea. But for what it's worth, Olivier Giroud is open to a move back to the Premier League at a London club. The French veteran striker has one eye on a move away from AC Milan when his contract runs out in the summer. I mean, I wouldn't be against having a Giroud type in the squad. I wouldn't necessarily be against it, provided he wants to accept being the sideman, really. Giroud was a star for Arsenal and Chelsea, but it could be a real coup for one of the lesser clubs if they can fund his wages. He was a late target for Everton in the last window, but did not want to be that far away from the capital. If he does leave the San Siro, the 36-year-old will not be short of admirers after a long career at the top level. You've also got West Ham. West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace and Brentford could all be potential destinations for Giroud, with the Hammers, and Eagles particularly short of goals this season. Patrick Vieira's man is struggling. Third man, I wouldn't mind. He does have that mentality. Allow it, Giroud, your time's done. We're winning the league, my brother. Have faith. I don't know about winning leagues. I don't check the league table. I'm just focused game to game. If we do our job, we'll see where Arsenal rank come May. I do know I want to be in the Champions League next season, and I do know I want to be in the final of the Europa League, bro. People. It follows on from better yet, I'm reading too far ahead, people. Apologies for that. The forward needs only to look at former Chelsea teammate Willian and his career turnaround at Craven Cottage to be tempted to move back to the capital. Giroud has led the line for AC Milan this season and delivered 7 goals and 4 assists. It follows on from a 9-year stay in England, where he spent the first 6 years at the Emirates before making the switch to West London. He would win the FA Cup a combined 4 times and pick up a Champions League medal with Chelsea in 2021. Obviously, his best goal-scoring season would come in the 2015-16 campaign when he notched up 24 goals for Arsenal in all comps, people, and he did score a scorpion kick. Would you lot take Giroud back? I can't lie, loud. Giroud, 36 years old, a bit too late. Imagine Giroud comes back and wins the Champions League with us. Crazy. He'll go to Fulham. I don't quite think Arsenal are interested in Giroud or go for Giroud, but that's where you have it. From one striker to another, allegedly Arsenal. What's happened here? Can you lot still hear me? Good stuff anyways. Apparently, Arsenal plotting a move to sign Aston Villa star during the summer transfer window. Arsenal are plotting a move to sign Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins during the summer transfer window. Watkins has been in sensational form over the last few weeks under Unai Emery. The England international is always trouble for opposition defenders due to his electric pace and ability to finish with both feet. According to journalist Steve Kye, Mikel Arteta is a huge admirer of Watkins and is plotting a move to sign him during the summer transfer window. If you lot remember correctly, he bagged against us. Watkins, allow it. He's a serial winner. Even if he doesn't come back, I'll always think kindly of Giroud. He did his part at the Emirates. So I don't think we need him for our project. Fair enough, people. So, yeah, new striker may not be seen as a priority for Arsenal at the moment, considering Balogun is impressing on loan in France, but it could possibly hint that the young attacker doesn't have a long-term future at the club if they bring in Watkins. It might not be the smartest of moves for Watkins to sign for Arsenal, considering the attackers they have at the club, even if Balogun was to leave. Okay, have fun at Aston Villa then. Of course, look at the project we're doing. Doesn't make sense really. If he's offered it, he has to take it. Arsenal end Man City bid to sign star after Saka agrees terms. Arsenal believe they have ended Manchester City's interest in Bukayo Saka by tying him down to a new contract, sources have told Football Insider. The Premier League champions have had a long time interest in the 21-year-old, but the Gunners have fended off any bid by agreeing a 5.5-year agreement. Football Insider sources revealed on Friday, 24th of February, that Arsenal have agreed a contract extension with Saka until 2028, worth 57 million, and he's already put pen to paper on the deal. The young winger is set to earn in excess of 200k a week at the Emirates, placing him among the club's highest earners. Mikel Arteta made Saka's new contract a priority at the club amid interest from City. Again, Pep Guardiola has labelled Saka incredible and suggested he has a bright future. So, yeah, I mean, we already know that. Saka currently has 9 goals and 8 assists this season. He managed 11 goals in the Prem last year. He's about to do it. Saka has appeared in every Premier League game for the league leaders and played a full 90 minutes in the last 12 games. He's also been available for the last 65 appearances, people. So who knows? Balogun, Watkins, in my opinion, star boy is ours. He's going nowhere. Star boy is loyal to this club. Reece is better than him, in my opinion. Who? Saka? Giroud just go to the MLS. I like Watkins, but I don't think he's of the level we're aiming for. He's a plan B or C. Better options for better money elsewhere. He is going to cost an arm and a leg. Elite opinions keep on flowing, people. This is in relation to the Lautaro Martinez. Mr. Brown of Give Me Sport has said, I think he would be, in relation to Arsenal, I think he would be an absolutely phenomenal signing. He is someone who a lot of teams have looked at. Spurs are very interested in him, and I think you wouldn't rule them out if if he were to become available. Getting into the Champions League is going to be keen. He's been linked with Arsenal. I'm not too sure what that means, really, but according to Football Insider, Arsenal have set their sights on taking advantage of Inter Milan's precarious financial situation by swooping in for Martinez. The report suggests the North Londoners have reignited their interest in the 2022 World Cup winner, and a deal could be struck for up to 80 million after initiating contact with his reps. In a boost for Arsenal, respected journalist Peter O'Rourke revealed recently and told Give Me Sport that Martinez would see a move to the Emirates Stadium as an attractive option after challenging for the Premier League crown this season. But the Gunners are not the Argentina internationals' only suitors, as Man United and Chelsea are also mulling over whether to offer a route into English top flight, while Barcelona and Atletico are long-term admirers. Martinez still has just shy of 3.5 years remaining on his 184k per week contract at the San Siro. So a summer move away from Inter is not a foregone conclusion at this point. So we'll have to see how that develops. Apparently, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, Lazio have set Sergej Milinkovic-Savic asking price as midfielder wants Arsenal move. Lazio have now named their asking price for midfielder. Smash the like button, people. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, who favours a move to Arsenal. A report from Italian outlet Whoever has outlined the latest information on the Serbian's future. It is no secret that Arsenal are on the lookout for another central midfielder. After signing Jorginho in January, who's been our player of the match in the last 2-3 games, or definitely one of them, they went all out to bring in Moses Caicedo. Despite a £70 million bid being made, the Seagulls wouldn't budge, and the Ecuadorian remained at the Amex. They could go in for him again in the summer, while West Ham captain Declan Rice also remains a priority. I'm sure you all saw his goal against Nottingham Forest, Trossard-esque. However, there have been recent reports that Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is on Arsenal's radar if a move for Declan Rice falls through. The 27-year-old now has 18 months left on his contracted until 2024, and a renewal looks unlikely. Milinkovic-Savic's asking price has now been set, and the Serbian would be very keen on a move to Arsenal. Whether that comes to fruition this summer is another matter. Apparently, the report says he, in brackets, Milinkovic-Savic, has promised maximum commitment to the club in order to raise an offer that will boost the coffers. It is conceivable he would raise 40 million, in brackets 35.4 million, hardly more. They go on to say that the money could be used to find his replacement, and the Premier League remains his most likely destination. Newcastle United and West Ham are both interested in Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, but Arsenal are at the top of the English league table and Milinkovic favourites. So, yeah, man, we'll have to see exactly what happens here, but it doesn't really say anything. But apart from he's got an asking price of 35.4 million. Let me know your opinion. Smash the like button, people. Martinez is better than Watkins. Amen. And some are saying Martinez is meaty. So make of that what you will. Once again, further confirming £35 million, £40 million euros asking price for Sergej Milinkovic-Savic come the summer, people. I mean, he's someone that's been linked with Arsenal for a while. It's now or never, really. 27 years of age, got decent years. We've got plenty of centre halves, but apparently Gunners continuing to monitor Edmund Tatsoba. What have we got here? Too late for Savic. This is what happens when owners act stupid instead of cashing out. Milinkovic-Savic would be interesting as a long-term Partey replacement. Not really long-term, but I hear you. And I wouldn't say he would change Partey. He's more likely to play in the Xhaka role. But apparently Arsenal are reportedly continuing to monitor Bayer Leverkusen defender Edmund Tatsoba ahead of a potential move this summer. Apparently, we had previously held an interest in the 24-year-old last summer, but a move never materialized. And as we know, in January, as well as bringing in Jorginho and Trossard, who played quite well in our last game, we brought in Kyria. So it's probably just normal scouting. But for what it's worth, Rudy Galletti says that Arsenal are continuing to monitor Tatsoba ahead of this summer, adding that the player appreciates the Gunners' interest in him. Once again, Arsenal are continuing to monitor Edmund Tatsoba, the Bayer Leverkusen centre-back. The player appreciates a lot of the interest of Arsenal, which have been following him for a long time. Allegedly, it's an evolving situation, people. We'll come back to this. So make of that what you will. Arsenal defender is now open to joining Newcastle. I mean, for Tierney, it's closer to Scotland and you'd play football. Why not? But we're going to be in the Champions League. You're going to be joining a more competitive team. Do you want to fight for your spot or do you want to keep it moving, man? Really and truly. Hey, don't shoot me, Shank. Shoot the newspapers. The dream is free. The Arsenal is sold separately. I don't know, Giroud. I'll take it that you've got his phone call, and you can have him on speed dial. If he wants to stay at AC Milan, he'll stay at AC Milan. But for what it's worth, Kieran Tierney is said to be open to joining Newcastle after coming frustrated at his lack of game time at the Emirates. Once again, Tomiyasu came in at left back. This is according to the Mirror, who says that Tierney is a summer target for the Magpies. The Scotsman has had to deal with the increasingly difficult task of displacing Zinchenko in an Arsenal team that is absolutely flying right now, and a move to Tyneside is seen as a real possibility for the left back people. Eddie Howe has an interest in him, people. He was desperate to bring him to Bournemouth before he ended up at Arsenal. So we'll have to see how that goes. And he's a better fullback option than Dan Burn. I do feel bad about Tierney. Think he just doesn't fit what Arteta wants as a left back. For what it's worth, people, allegedly Granit Xhaka is in talks over a new 3-year deal. Arsenal are in talks with midfielder Granit Xhaka. Smash the like button, people, over a 2-year contract extension, sources have told Football Insider. As you know, the 30-year-old's current deal expires next summer, and the Gunners are keen to keep hold of Xhaka and avoid losing him on a free transfer. Mikel Arteta values Xhaka as a key member, or better yet, key player at Arsenal, and views him as a leader in the club's dressing room. It is understood that Xhaka is happy at Arsenal and eager to pledge his long-term future to the North London club following their success in the Premier League this season. Arsenal turned their attention towards negotiating with Xhaka after already agreeing terms with first-team stars Bukayo Saka and Gabby Martinelli, people. So we'll have to see how Xhaka's develops, but it follows on El Nene signing a new deal. Spend the 110 plus and get Savic and Rice as replacements for Xhaka and Partey. Xhaka's ready to be a lifetime Gunner. Who'd think it? That means we need a true backup for Zinchenko. Boy, maybe Zinchenko will move into midfield one day. We've seen this with Milinkovic-Savic enough times. Pep Guardiola's on mind games, people, in relation to Arsenal. He said many games are going to happen in relation to Arsenal. I know how good they are. I know we cannot drop points, but I know they are going to play Europa League as well. Many things are going to happen. They are going to drop points. We are going to drop points. The team who drops the less points will be champions. Mind games from Pep Guardiola, getting them out early. Once again, we've heard these comments on Xhaka, but allegedly, for what it's worth, Xhaka sees his future at the Emirates Stadium. That's according to Graham Bailey. Apparently, there's reports. He reports clubs in Italy, Germany, and Spain are now exploring a move for Granit Xhaka. At 30 years of age, he's got to ask himself, does he want to try a new experience or does he want to commit to Mikel Arteta, people? So we'll have to see. He's got no reason to leave. Arteta trusts him. You're a valued member on and off the field. It is what it is, people. But we do need to upgrade in midfield, and that might come at a cost where Granit Xhaka is concerned. What is all of this? Player insists he'll do everything to get Arsenal man to the club, admits they often talk about it. Granit Xhaka's brother has been speaking, allegedly. Apparently he wants to play with him in Switzerland. We often talk about it. He's tied to Arsenal until 2024. Maybe he'll extend for another year, but then it would be possible. But he would have to come in 2026 at the latest. He also wants to play for Basel again together with me. Even if it's only for 10 minutes, I'll do everything. So one eye on Xhaka departing. Player turned down very nice contract offer from Aston Villa. This is in relation to Guendouzi. Don't really care what you're doing with your life. I'll return to Arsenal. Player very clear about his future. Will not be staying at current club. I think this is in relation to Tavares, which he has to return to Arsenal temporarily, if nothing more. Everyone knows that I still have 2 years left with Arsenal. My contract will finish the season. I'm here until the end of the season to reach our objectives with Marseille. I can't tell you much more. I feel very good here with these players, this manager. We get along really well. At the end of the season, I'll return to Arsenal. I can't say much more. To be fair to you, what more can Tavares say in that regards? Big up yourself, Josh. Pep is trying mind games at his fullest extent, for what it's worth. David Ornstein has spoken on Arsenal, Saka, Saliba, and more. On Bukayo Saka, Arsenal have reached an agreement in principle with Bukayo Saka over a new long-term contract. That really is momental. It hasn't been announced yet, and it may take some time just to finalize, complete, and announce it. But that deal is now in place. We don't know the exact duration of the deal, but I would expect it to be at least 4 years. He was under contract until 2024 via the last agreement he signed in 2020. That actually took him to 2023, but Arsenal had the option to extend it by 12 months, which they did. But this new deal will supersede that. And we think that will probably make him Arsenal's highest paid player. Many people would say rightly so. Don't forget this is a guy, if he was on the market, he'd be of interest to some of the biggest clubs in world football. We saw the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester City, and Liverpool all linked with him, but his priority was always to stay at Arsenal, even while negotiations dragged on. But it does seem, as of Thursday, they've reached a positive conclusion. This part of a change in narrative of Arsenal is because they're now not losing their best players. They're holding on to them. Recently, Gabby Martinelli signed a new deal with them. That's on top of El Nene signing a new deal. At the time, if you lot remember, Granit Xhaka signed a new deal not too long ago. Gabriel, our centre-half, has signed a new deal not too long ago. Tierney has signed an improved term not too long ago, and whatnot, people. On William Saliba, there's one player remaining they're trying to tie down, and that is William Saliba. As I understand, this is David Ornstein, by the way. There's no agreement close as things stand, but that could change, and he's spoken positively about wanting to stay at Arsenal. So it will be about trying to strike a deal between himself, his reps, and of course Arsenal. On El Nene, they've also tied El Nene down for an extra year. Not so much on the playing side, but he's crucial in the dressing room, and that's the spirit that Mikel Arteta has engendered, is absolutely pivotal to what's going on at Arsenal at the moment. On Arsenal in general, people, David Ornstein said there are also reports they are going to look to next sign Aaron Ramsdale to fresh terms. So it's all moving in the right direction for them on and off the pitch. That's tribute to Mikel Arteta as manager, head coach, of course. That's tribute to Edu as sporting director, who had a very clear vision of where he wants to take Arsenal, how he goes about it, and he seems to be a pretty popular figure within the club and outside. Also, the Kroenkes who own Arsenal, they've had so much stick over the years, but they appear to be moving Arsenal in the right direction. They will also have targets for the summer: holding midfielder, maybe strength and depth at fullback, maybe even a central midfielder. 3 areas I would die for Arsenal to improve upon, if I'm honest with you. Juventus, Arsenal, Real Madrid, everyone wants Atalanta, Starlet, Højlund, which is true, which makes sense. He's got 6 goals in 19 appearances and has found the net in the last 2 league games, people. We'll have to see, really and truly. Juventus want him to replace Vlahovic. Allegedly, that is what it is. Real Madrid and Arsenal allegedly looking at him. Milan as well. He's got a contract until 2027, 20 years of age, joined last summer. He's got no reason to immediately leave Atalanta. At this moment in time, you'd be joining better ranking clubs in Arsenal and Real Madrid and Juventus, but would you be playing consistently? I don't know. Josh is saying Giroud's welcome. Mitch is saying no thanks to a Giroud return. In my opinion, Arsenal should sell Tavares, buy a quality left back in order to shift Zinni to midfield, as he's not good when it comes to defending. I don't think I would like another left back, but I don't think if Tierney leaves, but I don't think Zinchenko's going to play in midfield anytime soon. Why not, though? It's something that could have been explored this season. I mean, we've spoken about Tierney and Newcastle. It's a bit boring in that regard. So that seems to be the transfer news section of this live stream done, people. So that's the transfer news. Should we go over Leicester versus Arsenal very quickly as well, people, and see what Mikel Arteta has had to say in some of his things as well? I think we should. Smash the like button if you haven't. 50 likes. We're almost there in terms of 100 people. So what's the timestamp on this? Let's say 23:30. That's not how you spell Leicester. Leicester versus Arsenal. There is other articles online. We might as well have a look at it. Again, are you going to translate this for me? Thank you. Crazy price that Real Valladolid asks is for Ivan Fresnadar. The right back is on his way to being one of the most expensive sales in the history of them, man. Ivan Fresnadar is on track to become the most expensive sale in the history of Real Valladolid next summer. All this after the very young Spanish right back is attracting the attention of top-level European teams such as Borussia Dortmund, Juventus, or Arsenal, who would be the main favourites to take over the services of what is called to be one of the great footballers in Spain in the coming years. So, yeah, after retaining the footballer to continue at Valladolid until at least the end of the season, Valladolid is rubbing their hands with the sale of Fresnadal, to which they put a starting price of close to 30 million euros. That's his release clause. And those object now, it happens to continue having more minutes on a regular basis. Google Translate, if it didn't mean him, until the end of the season, being from July the 1st, when most of those teams interested in his signing knock on the door to put on the table an offer that breaks all the records of the transfer in the history of the clubs. New candidates are not ruled out. He's played 836 minutes across 12 games, people. So there'll be a lot of interest in him, whether Arsenal, Real Madrid, or whoever moves for him. It's another thing. Keeping up with Spain, people, leave me alone. we've been linked with Nico Williams. The excellent season that Nico Williams is going through is not going unnoticed by clubs of the caliber of Liverpool, Arsenal. The two Premier League teams are the most interested, given that the Spaniard has not yet renewed with Atletico Bilbao. Yeah. Fresneda, CJ. There you have it. But yeah, that's probably where the bulk of Nico Williams reports are coming from. He's having a decent season. He's contracted until 2024. Obviously, he plays out wide, and he's also Spanish-ish like Mikel Arteta. So the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. Bilbao have to probably commit him to sign a new deal. And where you look at Nico Williams, where you look at Milinkovic-Savic, obviously Declan Rice, it's a pivotal summer in some of these players' contracts. It's either you sell them now or you keep it moving, and you might not get what you want. Arsenal have been linked with a Celta Vigo youngster, Gabri Veiga, but could face competition from Man United for his signature. That's according to AS, who says both sides are keen on the 20-year-old who's establishing himself as one of the fashionable players in La Liga. The report explains the 20-year-old has been shining since being moved into Celta Vigo's first team in the summer, becoming one of the revelations of Spanish football. In January, he did not have a number in the squad, but by February, he was among the Player of the Month candidates and currently has a tally of 6 goals and 2 assists in 21 league games, people. He is Celta's decisive player, most decisive player, I think it means. It says move after the striker, Igor Aspas. And the high level he's showing is not going unnoticed by big teams in Spanish football, the Premier League. Indeed, several English sides have already monitored him, and both Arsenal and Man United are on the lookout for his performances. Celta naturally would prefer not to lose the player as he is now their main asset, but they're aware of interest and know it will be very difficult to keep him this summer. Should he leave, they're convinced the midfielder will become the highest transfer